Are you a TikTok splunker, wriggling your chronically online self through the endless tunnels that is TikTok drama? If you're as brain-rotted as I am, you'd be familiar with the idiocy that is the TikTok art community. I'm Sababa Black Sheep. Have you any soul? No sir, no sir. But as the whitest woman as they come out of the Karen factory, oh boy, I'm good at complaining. Do you like bullying children? Do you like denying misogyny? Perhaps even screaming over shades of tan? Well, my fellow dullard, welcome to the TikTok art community, where dreams come to be criticized and the talented come to get their willy wet with affirmation. Let's start with a not so pressing issue, but more an observation of a generational divide among the art community nowadays. That's mutuals and followers being way too friendly to the artists. When I say friendly, I don't mean friendly in the way of asking for collabs or complimenting people, sending a message, any normal friendly interaction. That's amazing. I love chatting with the people that follow my work and I love following their work. It's an amazing experience to have that community. That's what puts the community in community. But what I'm talking about is the careless jokes about an artist's work in their comment section. Despite not really knowing this artist, they are essentially a stranger. Some artists encourage unhinged jokes and I'm fine with it. I love unhinged jokes, but there's a social line at some point. And it's important for us as an audience to respect our artists that we enjoy following. I've had people that have followed me and enjoyed my work for a long time comment about how they want to essay my character, kill my character, or say skill issue when I say I'm taking a break because I'm not feeling well for insert whatever reason. That's not socially acceptable or okay. And I guess one could say, oh my god, such a snowflake.
Bombastic side eye.
I'm sorry, you're going to comment on someone's post saying, God, your character is so annoying. I hate them. I want to kill them. Love your art though. Okay, thanks for the opinion, I guess? I don't know. Or the would could forcefully.
Criminal offensive.
Would could what forcefully? At least that's when they're not saying it directly. I think we just need more social etiquette in general in these online spaces, because I am nowhere close to the only creator that has been having this issue. I have many friends that are way bigger than me that are having very similar issues of their followers overstepping boundaries within their comment section. And a lot of these boundaries, at least in years past, aren't something you need to say. It's just implicit that maybe this would be taken in a very wrong way. Keep it in the group chat. I don't care what the hell you say in your group chat with your friends. Stay goofy. Stay the wildest shit that you could never say to an audience. I love that freedom for you. But for heaven's sake, it's in the group chat for a reason. There's a reason why no one says it out loud. A lot of the times, this comes from younger people. It tends to be from middle schoolers to high schoolers that are speaking in this manner. And I realize it can be really hard to always know what is and isn't okay. And especially on the internet, what isn't okay is constantly changing. But just keep in mind that you probably wouldn't enjoy some of the things you say to people. I think another aspect of this when we're talking about the generational divide is millennial online etiquette tends to be a bit more proper on a surface level. Tends to be more removed and surface level respectable to each other. Pleasantries you'd normally see in real life can be found more commonly within millennial spaces online. But this also comes with a sense of elitism I've noticed in a lot of millennial groups. Where when it comes to Gen Z, it's very welcoming and friendly, but very regularly crosses boundaries that should be implicit to the viewer. Neither is better than the other. It's more just, can't we have both? Can we just take the good sides of both? The answer is no. No, we can't. But on another note, let's talk about the shades of bullying minors.
For some reason, I got put in a beginner art class. So I put my hands up to play my song, the butterflies fly away. These freshmen won't know what hit them. Y'all.
For some reason I was put in the beginner art class. It's gonna be so weird being the only senior because I'm so good and talented. Freshmen better watch out.
Many young artists post their work on TikTok, many of them just starting their art journey, so naturally their work is not professional, and no one should expect them to be. The perceived anonymity of TikTok users has allowed many to be far too comfortable about criticizing other people's work. I was surprised that the YouTube 2016 to 2019 ideology of, if you post it on the internet, expect criticism, found its home in places like art TikTok, despite it dying out on YouTube for the most part. My theory is that this ideology is more a product of developing minds making questionable conclusions, since most of art community YouTube has grown up and seen that this ideology merely creates a hostile environment for creation for everyone involved. But naturally, growing up isn't the only solution to fix this issue. I think it's important for us not dumbasses to support and defend artists who are unfairly bullied. Do you like Baldur's Gate 3? Do you like coloring pages? Well, I have these coloring pages on my Etsy for you to print out for just $3 buckaroonies. If you finish your coloring sheet and tag me on Twitter showing me your amazing coloring, I'll choose my favorite and you can tell me what the next coloring sheet you want to be, and you'll get it for free. Linktree is in the description. Back to the video. The male gaze trend. I even took part in this trend. When I first saw this trend, I thought nothing of it, and liked the concept. It's become a far more controversial trend than I thought it would. Undoubtedly, the male gaze exists, and for y'all that are unaware, I'll give you a quick synopsis. The male gaze was a theory proposed by filmmaker Laura Mulvey. I'm bad at names. Mostly proposing women in narrative media made by men for men tends to have flat, unrealistic characterizations of women, especially in design and personality. Examples being most female characters in Naruto, Black Widow, literally any female character in an action movie that heavily identifies with the, I'm not like other girls, I'm cool and I can hang out with the boys rhetoric. The manic pixie dream girl is a part of that too. A female character that's quirky or weird that shows a male character what empathy is and showing him a different way to perceive the world, which on the surface doesn't sound bad, but it tends to be a fetishization of the glorified aspects of women with undiagnosed autism, without getting into the real downsides of existing in a society as a high masking autistic person, be it male or female. Examples like Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Summer from 500 Days of Summer, and many others. These characters aren't really written to be complete individuals and are regularly characterized by a two-dimensional fantasy of what a woman should be. When this art trend made its rounds, many were offended at the thought of people being open about the media's regular objectification of women. It doesn't exactly take a rocket scientist to realize there's merit to the male gaze theory. I mean, how many women yossify male characters? And if you ask me, that's just as cringe as objectifying female characters. If I see one more art piece of twink baby girl Vivek, I'm going to put a round through my fucking skull. I think the unrealistic standards both genders have of each other is weird as hell, and tends to make the character they project romantic fantasies onto flat and two-dimensionally obsessed with the self-insert character. Book talk fanfic smut-obsessed girlies ain't all that different from the prawn addict gooners of Reddit. They both tend to have this weird hate against the opposite sex, as if they aren't individuals of the same species. Now that just leaves the skin color debate on TikTok. As you may have noticed, I don't got a lot of color. Representation is very important in media. So it's important that we draw characters that are of color or marginalized groups as that. You can't just change that because you think, oh, when they're white, it's sexier. That's weird. That's really weird. I realize that my opinion could be biased, so hold me accountable if I say anything that weird, but there's a line. There's a line. Harassing young artists for not drawing a tan enough is, frankly, insane. Getting mad at those goofy cookie run app artists because you were supposed to draw that cookie black. Sweetheart, that's a fucking cookie. Last time I checked, we weren't impressing ginger cookies for hundreds of years. Please stop harassing minors over shades of cookie color. Same goes for Genshin characters. I swear to God, Genshin, the game itself, whitewashes your people of color for you. I have seen people draw characters with a darker skin tone than the in-game characters, and I open the comments, whitewashed! You whitewashed them! You whitewashed them! Bitch, where? Where? By this point, I swear on God's green earth, it's rage bait. They have to be trolls, because I will be looking at this very clearly person of color that someone drew. It's like, they were black. Sweetheart, that man was never black. He was lightly toasted at best. Another aspect of that is young artists not always knowing what aspects of a character design changes when they are drawing people of many different races. For example, a lot of people with darker skin colors will have lighter palms, be it Middle Eastern, African, Asian, fucking white. We all have very unique appearances that have evolved that way for a reason. It helped us survive in the environment our descendants were from. Young artists sometimes struggle with recognizing those differences because they're just not used to it yet. They're not always racist. Screaming racist at a 15-year-old because they didn't draw a black character with lighter palms is insanity. Do I think it's important to add those aspects into character designs? Yes, because it shows realistic representation. As in, I get hella annoyed when I see every white bitch in media look thin as hell and is like 6 fucking feet, model with huge bazonkadonks. That pisses me off because I'm 5 foot. I might have big bazonkadonks, but I'm not exactly muscle mommy over here. Good representation is important, but it's weird to create a hostile culture on places like TikTok and then get mad at little kids when they're like, I'm afraid to draw people of color because, let's be frank, a lot of the times in places like this in particular, it comes with harassment. It really does. I'm not saying on all platforms, many platforms, there's no issue. I've drawn plenty of people of color and no one has ever said anything beyond, that's a cool drawing. I prefer that reaction, but god giggity damn. There are racist artists out there. That is a fact, but not every child that doesn't know how to draw is racist. So keep your eyes out for the actual racists. Speaking of that, if there's any artists that know more than me, here's my drawing of a Xander from ESO. I had a hard time drawing his lighter palms because it was in shadow, so I didn't really know how to do that properly, and when I did, it just ended up coming out a little pinker and muddy, and it just didn't look exactly right. So if you have any tips how to draw color differences on the same layer in shadow, that'd be Pretty baller. Thanks. Tips, please. But as always, that's all I have. You have work tomorrow. Or school. Or learning how to make a coloring sheet. Give me money, please. But as always, don't dream about wheat-based byproducts.